Can we manifest through our self-talk? That's a great question I get a lot. So the answer is yes and no. So let me explain. So in order to learn what manifesting is or creating something, you kind of have to know a little bit about energy and how things create on different frequency levels. So we have two dialects. And when I mean dialects, I mean languages or spoken. So you have an internal dialect, which is a natural self-talk, which we constantly talk to ourselves, which is healthy. And then we have an external dialect, where we use our outer words to speak. Now, the interesting thing about this is with the internal dialect, we were basically conditioned and focused more to use the internal dialect, to use self-talk internally, inside. Now, there's an issue with that. When we use the internal self-talk within our mind, we tend to corrupt it, and it tends to become sabotaged by our ego. Your ego is basically what's known as your conditioned, rational mind. It is basically the person who it thinks you are. It gives you a personality. So that's the ego. So there's something amazing here, though. When we use the external dialect, which is the outer talk, it does something phenomenal. Because what happens is when you speak externally, your vocal cords create a vibration within the air molecules. So when you use your outer voice to speak, your vocal cords interact with air molecules. These molecules will vibrate. And then when these molecules vibrate, they affect other molecules. They vibrate. So you create what we call an increased resonance. This increased resonance creates more energy, and more energy creates what I would call critical mass. And critical mass is basically when you put enough energy or put enough sound waves to something, and then it expands and becomes what we call a reality or something physical that you explain. So the answer is yes, but I also said yes and no. But let's focus on the yes first. So when you use your outer dialect or outer voice, you can manifest quickly. You can, because as I said, the vocal cord, it carries this vibration. And if you are familiar with how things work, everything exists on these bandwidth of frequencies, sound. These waves carry the energy interact with the particles of what you want, and it comes back to you, and you can manifest that way. And I'm sure you heard it before, the power of words. The word is the power. When you speak it out, it shall come to you. That is true. Now you have some basic understanding why this works. So if you want to use this technique or this method, you can, but the key is when you use outer dialect, here's a trick with it. You haven't been conditioned to use outer dialect. You've been conditioned to use your internal dialect. So when you start to speak out loud, you may become ridiculed. People may look at you funny. They may think you're crazy. But no, my friend, that is perfectly normal. You see, there was a reason you weren't taught to speak with your outer dialect. Think about this. If something is so powerful, they would literally try to keep it away or funnel it out. This is why you weren't taught this in school. Because the power of your own voice will create a resonance within this energy field we have, and it comes right back to you as a material object or a material experience. But the trick is, and the issue is, you were taught to use your internal dialect, but that corrupts you because that's your ego. It puts you down, it gives you fear, it gives you doubt. So now you must learn to use your outer dialect. So if you speak things out aloud with positive self-talk, it works. You can manifest. I mean, of course, you can be discreet. You can do it in privacy of your home or wherever you can find the time to do it. But you must hear yourself, and you must open and use your vocal cords. Because this is important. This is how you will create and attract the things you desire. So there's the yes part of it. So you can manifest that way. Now, here's the no part of it. The yes and no. So the no part is, while you can create what you want, and you can manifest and get everything you desire, there's an issue now. The issue lies within your subconscious mind. Because if you do not program or change the existing program in the subconscious mind, whatever you get through you using your vocal cords to create, you may lose it or it may revert back. Why? Because your subconscious mind controls the habits, or what we call the preloaded programs in your mind. I'll give an example. So let's say you want to manifest a new career or maybe a new car, okay? Or you want to manifest more money, more abundance in your life. And you start to use positive self-talk with using your outer voice. And eventually you get these things because that voice, it can override the subconscious because it creates the vibration within the air molecules, right? And those vibrations will go out and attract and everything will come to you because your subconscious has no choice but to bring it to you. So while your subconscious brings it to you, it can also sabotage you because what happens is when you get it, the subconscious will go back to the internal program. So let's say you manifest a career or more money and you get the money and the finances, then what happens? What, a few weeks, months, years later, you revert back to the same pattern. You just lost it all, self-sabotage. Why? Because your subconscious holds these pre-programmed that you don't deserve it, you're not worthy of it. So that's the no part. So see, yes, you can manifest it, but you may not be able to keep it or sustain it. So that's the yes and the no. So to fix it, or what I call to create the avenue to keep it, you have to do two things. Number one, you have to keep your positive self-talk in a repetitious pattern. You have to be disciplined and you have to continue to do it. That's the first part. Number two, second part, you must be able to reprogram or change your subconscious limiting beliefs. Remember, your subconscious holds pre-program. And to do this, you have to examine where your life is going. Look around you. What do you believe? Are these beliefs serving you? Are these beliefs holding you back? Examine it. When it comes to certain things in your life, maybe money, love, health, any of these things, notice how you feel or react to these things. When you get them, when you think about them, what kind of feelings come up? Is there resistance there? Is there something blocking or something holding it back? Those are all signs that you have some subconscious limiting blocks. So once you can learn and remove these blocks, now you can use your outer voice continuously. Now, not only will you manifest it, but you'll get to keep it in a consistent basis because now the subconscious doesn't have any counterproductive programming. Now your subconscious will maintain the momentum, or your subconscious will keep the consistency. See, that's what's missing. That's the formula. So you can use your outer voice. It's very powerful because the words, they create sound waves, and the universe exists in a plateau of frequency range band. So these frequencies, they will create and they attract what we call the perfect symmetry, the environment, and you can create and you can attract it and you can manifest it. But also be aware now that if you aren't programmed the correct way, you can tend to sabotage yourself. So that's what the subconscious mind does. So it's very, very powerful, right? To know that my voice or your own voice has the ability and the capability to really transform the air or the energy around you and attract what you want into your life. Speak it and it shall come. Program the subconscious mind and you shall keep it. Speak it, it shall come. Don't program the subconscious mind, you won't keep it. It's that simple. That's the issue we face. And we weren't taught the manner of how to do it. But now you know the power that you possess, and now you know how things work. And you must remember now that when you see things around you, they look physical, but everything breaks down to its core component is all frequencies and energy and vibration, right? And these things, they coagulate together and they form what we call our basic concepts, our basic perceptions of our reality. So be careful when you use your words. If you're going to use positive self-talk or self-talk, you must speak highly of yourself. Do not condemn or put yourself down. Your self-talk must be loud, firm, passionate, believable. When I mean believable, I mean with conviction. Those are the keys and those are the forces that will initiate a higher concentration of energy and vibration. Those molecules will vibrate more at a higher frequency. More energy will happen Hence, critical mass will occur quickly. Therefore, you can receive the things you desire. So those are the factors. So the answer is, again, can I manifest using my self-talk? Yes, as long as you do it with the external dialect, not the internal. Use the external. Once the external becomes proficient, you can go back to internal, because the internal is probably corrupt by your ego. So you use the external, then you work on the subconscious, you reprogram it. Now it becomes of yes, yes, instead of a yes and a no. There it is. Now you have the keys.